guys. So I wanted to come on here and just get my thoughts on something because I know I've probably talked about it before, but is it just me? Is it just me, or does it seem like when a computer, if it has certain software in it, like let's say Windows 10, 11, maybe whatever program, um, that's opposite of Windows that operates in things like Apple devices or IBM devices or whatever laptops or PCs out there. You know, is it me or is it any time one of those softwares gives you the option to pause updates, for a various amount of time that basically those up that basically as I just slipped in here, hold on, that basically it seems that when it gives you that option to pause for a certain amount of days, that's when it decides afterwards, a little afterwards, to start acting up. Like, it's doing updates when it shouldn't be doing updates. And when you go check to see if it's done anything, it doesn't show nothing. But yet the only updates that are still running are your virus and protection updates, which, is understandable. That is understandable. It's got to update its firmware or whatever it calls, whatever it calls its, software that protects you and everything. It's got to do that. That's understandable. But here's my issue with that though. Even with that being the exception, it seems to me that they are still doing updates. And how do I know this, you might ask? Well, there are times I will notice that things change a little bit. Like when you go into the search area of your computer, on the bottom screen, the bottom left hand or right hand screen of your, well, basically on the bottom left hand or right hand corner of your screen, when you go into that search area, basically it will have something a little different, like something happened, but you can't tell what it was, and everything. You can't tell what it was. I mean, when you go down to this area here, I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, that area right there. When you go to that, it seems like something may have changed and all that, but you can't tell what. But over time, you do start noticing there are some changes. So it makes me wonder, if they're going to do updates, even very minuscule ones, ones that are barely noticeable, if they're going to do that, then why in the world give us consumers, the option of pausing our updates, for however long we want? Why give us that option? Why not just say, look, we're not going to give you that option anymore, and we require you immediately to do the updates? Why don't you just do that? Or if you're going to give us a pausing update, but you're insistent on us doing the updates, if you're going to give us a pause option, then why don't you just have us pause, if you will, the updates for a week? Why not just do it that way? Huh? Why not just do it that way? I'll tell you why they won't do that, because they know that we are catching on to them. They know we are figuring things out. I mean, anytime I hear my computer go, doing its loading sometimes, after it's kind of been like in standby, not asleep, but in standby, anytime I hear it go like that, knowing that it's doing, I know it's doing something, but I don't know what it's loading. It's nothing, there's nothing bad that it's loading. All I know is it's loading something. But what? But what could it be? And to me, the only thing I can think of is it's updating itself, but on a minuscule level, very minuscule level. It's updating itself. And sometimes that update gets so ridiculous, though, those minuscule minor updates that are not supposed to be happening get so ridiculous that sometimes it doesn't even let you use the internet. And that's how you know, too, that something is happening, because even with an update, you should be able to use the internet, but you can't. Because either the browser will be fine, the Google Chrome, Opera, Firefox, you know, um, what is it? Internet Explorer, not Internet Explorer, but Microsoft Edge. That'll be all fine. But below, like with the timer, like the clock and everything, and the date, you know, it'll stay on a certain time. Like for example, this says 8:03 right now, right? That says 8:03. Imagine that being stuck for about 20 minutes, but the browser's okay. But then eventually, once in a while, you'll get both not responding. Like the browser will give you the not responding deal. And you're wondering, okay, what's going on? And the only thing you can think of is it's either doing a virus scan, which it should let you know that it's doing, or what it's doing specifically is an update, but it's a very minuscule one. But it's not saying that it did an update, nor is it showing end result of an update. But it happened because why else would the thing, why else would your browser, the overall PC, get non-responsive for about 15, 20 minutes? Why would it do that? So to me, as I've said before, and I know I'm not alone in this, as I have said before, if they don't want us to pause the updates, Windows, IBM, whatever software you use on your PC or your laptop, if you don't want us to pause the updates, then don't give us that option. Don't give us that option. I mean, my computer, isn't up to snuff to do Windows 11. I mean, I'm sure if I got it upgraded and stuff, it might. But still, it's not up to snuff and everything, and even lets me know that. But I'm just curious, for anybody that has a Windows 11 PC, if maybe that's happened to you guys. Because to me, it's like, why in the world would you give us this option if you're going to not really, live by that promise you're giving us by saying, hey, we're letting you have the power to, pause and, deactivate and reactivate the updates when you see fit. Why basically lie to us is my question. When you're constantly still doing updates, that's what kind of gets under my nerves. That's what gets under my nerves, and I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one it gets under the nerves of. Because honestly, there are a lot of people that use their PCs, for the content they provide here on YouTube. There's a lot of people that do. And I guarantee you this right now. Windows, I guarantee you this right now. Windows, IBM, Apple, whoever is the software that you primarily use for your computer. All I'm going to say is this, Linux, whatever it is that you use, I'm going to say this. These people need to get their act together. Again, if you don't want people to, use the pause option on the monthly updates to pause for however long they want, if you don't want them to use that, and you are so insistent on them doing an update, which is pretty much just, a monthly upgraded version of the last update, then why don't you just say so? Why don't you just come out and say so? I mean, look, I get that eventually I'm going to have to let my computer update, and that's not a problem. That's not an issue. But still, you should just let people know, hey, we're not in favor of that, and we recommend you basically update your computer. Even and to me, this is also and to me, this is something that they should just come out and say, even if they give you the option to disable the updates for good. Because even if you disable the Windows updates or Linux or what is it, Linux or Linux updates or IBM updates or whatever, you know as well as I do that even if you got the option to disable it for good, quote unquote, that's not going to stop them from doing updates or sending updates your way. So why even give us these options if you're consistently going to put updates out there? I mean, let me ask you guys. how many of you have paused the Windows updates, the monthly Windows updates, even if they had a featured update? How many of you have paused them, but all of a sudden it still feels like it's updating it several times to the point where your internet gets slowed down, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be slowed down. Or basically you get a non-responsiveness from either the bottom of your computer, like with your clock and your calendar and all that, or you get a non-responsiveness with the browser, if not both. How many of you have probably gone through that? And you're thinking, wait a minute, I paused the updates. Why is it acting like it's doing it? How many of you gone through that? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But again, folks, I just feel like if they're so persistent, if they're so persistent on having this, be done, if they're so persistent on, getting these updates out to you, then don't give us that option. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You don't want us to have the option that you gave us, which is a promise of, hey, we're giving you the power to pause these things whenever you want to pause them. If you don't want to live by that promise, then don't give us that option. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you're so persistent on making sure that we, as the consumer, the user, basically goes out there and uses the updates on a monthly basis, and everything when it comes to our computer, then just say it. Just say that you want us to use them and everything. Put out the notification on the bottom of the top right hand of the screen saying, we highly advise or recommend you update your computer now. Even if it's just the same old monthly update we get and everything, it's just a different patch and all that. Or even if, we are able to pause, but we still get those updates or virus scans coming up, please, I ask you, put out the notification saying, hey, we're about to do a virus scan on your computer. Don't use your computer for the next, 20 minutes or so. That way we know, okay, we can't use our computer because it's doing a virus scan, and a lot of things are going to not be very responsive. Or heck, even put it out there saying, hey, we're going to do a virus protection update, a software update. Please don't use your computer for, such and such time. It's like, okay, fine. If you give us a notification that those are going to happen, then we'll be okay with it. But you don't do that. You don't give us those notifications, and that's what pisses people off. And again, on top of that, you give people the option to basically pause these updates, these monthly updates, these patches, if you will, and yet you still persist on putting out some of the very minuscule updates, out there to the computer, even though we should have the power to make sure those don't happen either. At least for the next, 60, 90 days, 30 days? To me, it's ridiculous. But guys, I want to know what your thoughts are. I mean, again, have any of you gone through something like this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. Superchats will be open in the live chat during this video. And yes, you will be watching this video 2 days before I have to probably do an update to the computer. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere. Superchats, like I said, will be open. And you will, down the line, get an audio version of this at BW Rose's Discussions Podcast. Also check out the Teespring store. I got new content there with the new 15 years on YouTube merchandise you can check out. But guys, give me your thoughts. Love to hear what you have to say and what you've been through with this. And I'll talk to you.